Okay, so we are going to go ahead and get started with our Q&A. Kind of gave you guys some talking points as far as how we were going to proceed. Some of our biggest questions that we know is really about the new format of the RICA. So I have a couple of things that I'm going to go through my list. Stop me anytime. That's always how we work these Q&As. And then I do have a couple of questions that were submitted, but really they were all about the new format anyway. So I think that we'll be able to get to all of that. So let me go through what I have for you first. All right. So as far as the new content goes, I am going to share my screen with you and show you the CDC website. Most of you are probably really familiar with this. Some of you, though, if you're brand new, you need to be familiar. So bear with me for a minute and let me show you where you can find the most updated information about the new format, about test dates or anything like that. Let me go ahead and share that and get in with you. Okay. So as you can see, are you all seeing the right screen here? Okay. So as you can see, we have, if we go to, this is just the CDC website, and I'm looking at assessments, and I can find the RICA, and it's going to ask if you want to talk about the written exam or the video. And we deal with the written exam. That is what all of this is. Some people do join us to get some information about the content, but they are doing the video performance. Typically, the video performance does have a lower pass rate, and so there are a few situations where I think it is the better choice, but those are very few and far between. So we will go ahead and stick with the written format and take you to this new screen. So what you're going to see here is just some of the general old format things that were brought up, but this is where you're going to find some information about the online proctoring. So if you're not aware, the RICA is now offering the option of taking the RICA from the comfort of your own home. And that you can actually start registering for those now. I believe the first date to take the online proctoring begins on August 16th. So if you're looking into the online proctoring, any of these links will tell you kind of when the test scores are reported. You can check the availability of the website if you want to go through this and just follow those links. So they're pretty self-explanatory. Let's see if I can get us back here. Some interesting points that I've learned about the proctoring. Now, if you've ever proctored or had a test proctored at home, you know that they're very stringent as far as the security, as they should be. They're letting you take it at home. There's not anybody watching you, and they want to maintain the integrity of the test. That being said, if your home is a rather busy place, you've got children, you've got pets, you've got a lot going on, it may not be the best situation for you. However, if you're in a rural location and you have to drive an hour or more to get to your testing facility, and you can put your family on alert to make sure that it's nice and quiet for you, then it's definitely an option. One of the concerns is if anything happens with the tech, though, it kind of falls, I think, not really to your benefit. There would have to be some retaking of the test. So keep that in mind, but it is an option. Now, has anybody actually signed up for the online proctoring yet? Okay. I know for me, for example, I think the facility is where I would want to be because I want to be put in that situation where my mind knows this is, you know, I'm not going night-night. I'm not feeding the dog. I'm not doing anything but taking the test. But like I said, for some people, I think it's going to be a really nice option. So we have that. Now, another big question is coming out about the preparation materials. And so right now, the website is split into two particular sections. So if you are taking it, obviously, after July 26th, which we are, there's a whole bunch of links that you can go to find the new study guide. And you can click at the top and it's just going to take you through just different information about the RICA. But then what's nice is you have this little window over here on the left. And so you don't have to keep going back to those main links. You can scroll through this particular menu here. Now, I haven't seen a whole lot that is different. You have already seen, most of you have seen where I have talked about some of the time adjustments. You can see here, we've got the different times and different numbers of test questions. A couple of the biggest, one of the biggest surprises is that subtest 3 now involves 25 multiple choice questions in addition to your case study, which the way it's written, it reads to me that those are all in domain 1. Now, Grace, you only took subtest 1, correct? Because I'm waiting. So I don't think anybody's really taken subtest 3 yet to be able to verify that for me. I'm pretty confident. Okay. Then we have down here, you can see more of the parameters of the different subtests. Now, let me say this. One of the things that I'm a little frustrated with, I've emailed CDC, I have not received any information back, is there is no hard, fast number for what the weights on each of these sections is going to be. So we've always known that domain 2 is the heaviest, so we focus our efforts there. We don't know that yet. And domain 1 was always just such a small amount, but now if they're going to put 25 questions under domain 1, it's going to change everything. So this poses a problem for you and for me as I'm re-recording this whole thing right now. I can't advise you until I know what the weights are, where if you are down to the wire, where you should actually fit your study time in. So we're going to just go ahead and, focus on it per subtest. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now, if you have never read the content specifications of the RICA, this is really an important thing for you to know. When I created the course, how did I know what to cover in the course? I went through these content specifications and I said, oh, they need to know that. Oh yeah, that's a big one. That's difficult. Here's what you did. And I took all of this and I kind of got it narrowed down into, honestly, the nitty gritty of what you need to know to pass the test. But this is the full list. So if you've never looked at it and you want to, you've got some light reading time on your shoulders, go ahead and, peruse that, or just trust me. I've gone through and done it for you. Okay, then we can get into the new study guide. So what I did is they have, from what I can tell, they have restructured the sample test, but they have not written any of, I haven't seen any new questions yet. But this is my caveat. I start the recording of the deconstructing of these subtests day after tomorrow on my schedule. So I haven't looked at it in detail yet. The ones I've gone through, I'm like, oh, that's from the other one. So we'll see. But they did reorder them, which I think was really nice. And I like the new format a lot because what you can see here is you can either expand the answers or collapse the answers. So let me give you some advice here. Do not expand your answers, okay? Collapse your answers. And what I would do is print it. You want to have a printed version of this, especially if you are in the course, because I reference this test because one of the added things that I've done in the course is giving you homework. Isn't that great? So you are going to want to have access to this. So I do like the new format because it brings the competency right up above, lets you kind of tells you what you're focusing on. They hide the answer. You don't have to flip to the back of the page. You can just pop the answer when you're ready. So this is kind of nice. And they are broken into subtests, and you can see there's the subtest, but then subtest 1, here are your constructed response questions that has the prompts and the directions for your they call them focused tasks. They're your written responses. And they have the sample responses right here for you as well. So you can print each of these. What I did not like, and if you haven't printed, make sure you have plenty of paper, because you can't print more than one question on a page. Pros and cons, like sorry, not sorry, because what's nice about it is that you do have room when you print it to annotate. Okay, so you can take notes, you can kind of work it out. I like that. But it does you do go through a lot of paper. But you know, it's paper. If you have to kill a tree to pass the test, I think you'll be forgiven. It's okay. So that is what I am seeing from these so far. And anybody have anything that they'd like to add? Any questions about the study guides or the materials that CDC is providing you? We're good? All right, perfect.
Emily, now I do have a question here.
Yes, Melanie.
Do you think that Cliff's Notes is probably revamping it?
You know, that is such a good question. And we all would assume that Zerillo and Cliff Notes would be all over this. I haven't heard of anything yet. I'm waiting to see, because honestly, I don't think I'll know until it comes out on Amazon. But one thing when you're talking about the content of the exam is the content's not changing. Let's remember that. Okay, this is super important. So what I don't want you to do is I don't want you to go out and buy new formats of things, because you know, you're all intelligent people. I don't think that you're going to have to waste your time and your money on that. And the CDC is already giving you one that's already structured. So that we know for a fact. Now, if somebody was coming to the test brand new and they didn't have anything and there was a new version, I would suggest you buy the new version because it'll simplify everything. So Melanie, I don't know. I would imagine it's in the works. That's just how publishers, you know, that's what they do. They're going to want to provide you with what you need to get this test in. The question is, how long does that take? You know, how long does it take to do it? I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so far, I haven't heard of another update to the CDC website. I try to let you guys know that in the Facebook group. Usually I look at it every day, and they'll give us a warning that they're going to shut down for it'll say, I don't know, updates of some sort. Anytime that comes up, we know that they have been adding some things to the website. So we definitely want to pay close attention at that point. Haven't seen anything lately. I think they're going to wait for the first round, maybe the second round of these new tests to come out, because the first thing they're going to have to figure out is the weighting. Like, what is it going to be weighted? That's the thing that's bothering me, I think, the most, is I don't know what everything is weighted as. Okay, so you do have some things to get started. I think they're pretty reasonable. The last update to the sample test was in 2009. So, you know, hey, what is that? 10, 11, 12 years later? Years. We're getting there. Okay. And in another 12 years, we'll understand it, and then they'll change it again. So that's okay. All right. So I do want to tell you guys, because I know a lot of you are course members, and I wanted to put your mind at ease that there are things coming. So I have not seen my family for the last 3 days. I have been locked in my room, rewriting worksheets and slide decks, and I've been recording all day yesterday, all day today. I'm starting to get a little bit hoarse. So I wanted to kind of give you my timeline so that you guys are aware of what I am doing to help make this transition smoother for you. So some of the things that you're going to see, and first of all, I'm tentatively, I think I'll be ready. The new course information and format is going to be live on the 9th. I might actually be able to get it on the 8th, so watch your email, okay? But it will be next weekend. I'm seriously like just telling everybody, cook dinner, leave me alone, feed the dog. So that is what I am doing. And so here are some things that you're going to see. The slide decks are going to be updated, all of the domain slide decks. I have added definitions in print there before. I just talked them through, and now they are printed in. They are voiceover with slide decks, and I do include links in the video. Typically, I had YouTube links in the text notes below. They are still there, but now I'm going to reference them so you know where to pause and go watch your YouTube video. I thought that might be helpful. There are going to be all new intros, though. Those won't be recorded till I get my hair cut. I have a hair appointment. And I'm like, I am not doing any video right now. It's all voiceover because I need a haircut so bad. So most of you are ladies, you understand. I got to make sure that the hair looks good because this will be out there until the next update. But those are coming.
Your hair looked really cute. So
oh, you're so sweet.
I was like,
Oh,
oh, your hair is really super cute.
thank you. Well, yeah, that's a whole other story. When you move out of state, one of the first things you need to set up is a stylist because that is hard to find. Okay, that's just a little sidebar there. I am reorganizing the course so that it matches the subtest. So everything will be subtest 1. Here is your domain videos for subtest 1. Here is your constructed response for subtest 1. Here is your deconstructed sample test questions for subtest 1. Everything will be lumped together and before you go on to subtest 2. An additional thing that I have put in is there are homework slides. So what I did is, I've always kind of wanted to do this, so this was a good opportunity. I personally feel that the best way to prepare is to watch a particular video that I give you, kind of get your notes, get your feet wet, and then you go through the same competencies in Zerillo and you focus in on what I've talked about. I don't need you to, I still want you to eliminate the minutia because I think that just creates overwhelm. So I've kind of pointed those things out for you. I'm hoping that that will be helpful. I've also included a sample question in each domain video so that I can walk you through together, and you will see that again in the whole subtest deconstruction, but I thought it was helpful there. And I am adding the constructed response video, so that will be in subtest, each subtest as well. All right, so those are the things that are a go. Like those are the things that they're in progress right now, and they will be ready to go by this weekend. Now, a couple of things that are coming soon, and this is super, super cool. My website platform has added the ability to do audio only, like podcasting, right? Oh. So I have heard from people in the past that, boy, it would be nice if there was some sort of just audio version so I can listen in my car, listen in when I'm taking a walk, or, you know, whenever you're doing the dishes, something like that. And so my son is thankfully my tech support. And now that he lives with me, he is pulling my audio files, and we're going to try to make that work. I don't know if it'll be this weekend, but that is coming. I also plan to check in with you more regularly with emails to kind of guide you along the way. So if you have not subscribed, you won't get invites to workshops or any information if you have not clicked subscribe in your account. So please make sure you do that. I'm also going to include a calendar of upcoming workshops. You will know those a couple of months in advance. And so write this down. The next workshop, I am having a subtest 1 workshop, and it will be August 21st. That will open up on August 11th. And I think I'm going to do like an early bird drawing. So many, yeah, I know we're all procrastinators, right? But I think I'm going to do, I want to do some sort of an incentive for my early birds. So those that register like the first day, I'm going to do a drawing and refund you back your workshop fee. Okay. Something as a little incentive for you, so that I know you don't forget about it. And we're going to do more Q&As, back to what it was like when I was at home for COVID, probably at least twice a month. Okay. Some will be RICA members only, so that we can go deeper into content, and some will be newbies so that I can get people who are just getting started. All right. I know that's a lot, right? Like drinking from a fire hydrant. One more thing I'm thinking of, and I would love your feedback. If you don't mind dropping this in the chat, you can send it to me privately, or you can send it to the group. I don't care, but I'm contemplating adding a platinum membership, which means everything is included. Like all of your workshops, everything. Like none of this have to register for each one. So if that sounds like something that, I may do that. And that's just for somebody who's just kind of with me for the long haul, and it's all done for the year. One other thing, if you are coming up to your, 1 year, you know that your membership is good for 1 year. What I do offer for those that need additional time, and this has been in place for a few months, I send this out privately to people, is I offer a month-to-month subscription for people that have already been with me for a year, and they may still want to continue. And so I have a $27 a month. So if they only need a couple of months, or that one yearly purchase is a little bit much, but they can do the month to month. So that's another thing that I have. So as your membership, if you have not passed and your membership is expiring, just know that that is an option for you. Ooh, okay. It looks like people like the platinum. Okay. I do too. Simplifies my life as well. So yay. Okay, so those are course things. Again, stay tuned. I'll be emailing you guys and letting you know. All right, questions about the course? Any suggestions? Now is a great time to go, Emily, if you did this, that would be great. Is there anything that I'm not doing that you would like to see?
I
have a question. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. No, I was just going to say, do you know how long it's going to take the RICA to give you the results? So like because if I'm taking it on Saturday, and if I don't pass, I may want to do the workshop, but I don't know if that would be in time.
Right. So has anybody seen the score reporting dates yet?
I have, you said Saturday, right?
Yeah. So she's taking
Yes,
it
I take
on
it August 7th.
So, because I get my results on Wednesday, so you'll be not this upcoming Wednesday, the 4th, not the 7th, but the give or take the 18th, I believe.
Okay. And I'm looking.
I just the results because I was looking at when I scheduled mine. When is yours? This weekend, which is
it's August 7th. Yeah.
Okay, so you should get it by the 18th because you're right at the end of that. Well, are the dates still the same as what they were from the old test?
Pretty much.
Because they didn't update that part. But yeah, you should get yours the 18th, which is kind of nice because you're right at the end, because that testing period ends 8/8.
Okay.
You should get yours by 8/18.
Sweet.
Okay, here is the review. They have the online proctoring test, but you're not online proctoring it. And the computer-based test, it's still the same. Let me go ahead and share this with you really quickly so you can see where I found it. So here is the current, if your testing period was here, so yeah, so you're taking it on the 7th, then you should get your score on the 18th, and that's as close up to date as I have as well. Yeah, they scores report every 2 weeks, and they're about 10 days, up to 10 days out after your test.
Okay. And then just a follow-up, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
So say that I mean, hopefully I do pass, but say that I don't pass and I want to do your workshop. Is it too late, even if your workshop's on the 21st?
Let's see. So registration will close on the 18th. So that's the
Okay.
day you'll learn. So
Okay.
you could still, and honestly, Jessica, if you were to schedule, depending on how confident you felt with the, your performance, hopefully
Mhm.
it's just a win-win. If you guys know this, if you don't pay for something you don't get with me. Okay. So if you pass and you don't need it, I'll refund you. It's simple as that. Easy
Okay.
little click of the button. So you can handle
Okay.
that however you want.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a question. For
Yes,
you.
dear.
So I signed up. I first had my test scheduled at some point a few weeks ago, and I was like, I am so not ready. So I withdrew. And today I just rescheduled it again for the 23rd. And I've been studying the Zarillo book for, I've done so many different little things here and there all summer.
Mm-hmm.
Like now just listening, I was thinking, oh my God, how long does this usually take to pass? Like I've heard it's a nightmare. But so then I was thinking, okay, you have the one on the 21st for subtest 1, but do you have any recorded ones that we can pay for from previous? Because
So what I do is the whole course is already recorded. So
Right.
that's all there. You have access to the course material 24/7. The workshops take that same course material and we just walk through it live. And so you already have it. I don't record the workshops. They're super long. They take up a lot of bandwidth. And since it's already there, basically, it's really the experience of going through the workshop if it works for you. Now, let me ask you this as far as how much time you need. Let's see if you are more of an advantage test taker. Do you know? Because you're laughing. Okay, so let me ask you a couple questions. Were you a liberal studies major? No. Okay. So that puts you in the disadvantage. Are you a special ed teacher? Oh, you got 2 in the disadvantage. Nothing in the advantage yet. Sorry. And are you an English learner yourself?
No.
Okay. So you are leaning toward the disadvantage, but you've got the benefit of having English as your first language. So also, there's a couple of others. Have you done in either your student teaching or subbing or anything in an elementary classroom? No. Okay, that puts you at disadvantage. If you're working with SPED, are you hoping to get more into the elementary end or the secondary?
I'm actually an instructional aide at the high school level, and that's where I'm hoping to go.
Okay, so being an instructional aide, that's good. That's going to help. But because you're at the high school, it kind of voids it. So yeah.
I have already taken the class that's supposed to prep you for the RICA.
I love how people say that. That's exactly how it's always phrased. I've taken the class that's supposed to prep me.
And I tell you what, they're not at all. They said, take it right after you take the class. And I'm like, why? So I could just fail right away? Like, that seems like ridiculous.
I know. I've sadly had so many people say that it makes me sad. Little hint, I am talking with one of the universities right now. So thank you to those of you that are talking to your professors about what you're getting through the course, because one of them reached out to me and we're looking to find a way to help the students at that college. And when I know more, I'll tell you more. I can't give much more away yet than that, but that's kind of cool. So what I would say, Terry Lynn, is that you got to err on the side of more time versus less time. That also being said, it sounds like you, as many do, they go out and they get everything they can that has RICA on it. And what that causes is this bouncing and overwhelm. Anyone? So you know, and to each their own. You do what's going to work best for you. The way I designed the course and the reason I did that is to eliminate that. Here's the path you take. Okay. You can certainly supplement. Like I said, I have 2 resources that I fully think are going to help. And that's Zerillo and the Cliff Notes book, in addition to reading the National Reading Panel report. So sometimes you have to be careful because more is not always better. Okay, just keep that in mind. But you're probably getting ready to start school pretty soon and things are going to get busy. And your test date is when? End of August?
Yeah,
23rd?
I test the Monday before I start back and I'm doing my student teaching.
Okay.
So I wanted to at least get one test done so I know what to expect before.
Yeah. So when you fall into those disadvantaged categories, I would definitely suggest that one of the things that you do is absolutely only take one subtest at a time. All right.
Now, I just scheduled mine today and it didn't give me any option to do each one separate. It didn't give me the option to do proctoring at home. It was just, here's the test dates at your locations. And that was it. So I just scheduled one and it was for all 3 of them.
That's odd. Can anyone speak to that?
I believe you have to register one test at a time. So you have to fill out all the questions every time you want to register for the test. So if you want, I think you can withdraw from them.
I think I did that.
And then re-register separately though.
Oh, I'll have to go back and look at that then. Because I know like I withdraw from the old test. Yeah. They actually sent me my money back rather than like holding it there, like it's what they did with the CSAT on one test when I rescheduled. And then I just went and repaid for them. But I thought I did all of those questions at one time because I was like, why is this just not on our profile? Why do I have to keep?
Can I chime in really quick? Because I did exactly that, Ms. Terrelyn and Elizabeth's, right? You have to register for each one. So the problem with that is that those background questions they ask you for the exam, like your highest education, liberal, how many classes, all those background questions you have to answer 3 different times for each subtest.
Yeah, and that's what I did because I remember thinking, why couldn't they have fixed this process?
Right. But I was like, I don't care what I had to do. I wanted my spot for each separate subtest.
And did you get charged then the 171?
They all added up equally, yes. They held the balance. I had a credit of the 171 and then it tells you the breakdown.
Okay.
So they just held the money there.
Yeah. Okay. I think it's definitely worth a call, you know, or an email to see after you go back and double check it. The final suggestion I would make as well is as you're studying and prepping, you know, if you feel confident in an area, right? And my advice to you is if you're not feeling fairly confident, reschedule. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your money. Reschedule. All right. Maybe life happened. Maybe somebody got sick. You never know. But you don't have to just go into these tests kind of flying blind, you know, when you're not feeling good. It's a waste of your time, in my opinion. And it really decreases your confidence, I believe. So I would just, you know, keep that in mind. You can always reschedule if you need to. Okay. Great conversations. Thanks everybody for chiming in. Anybody else have any questions about the tests that we want to talk about?
More like something about the online proctoring. I know that somebody just took it, and to each their own, but they regret it because they have to take down every single thing off of the wall, and they want everything bare. So you got a lot of valuables in it, and that she just felt uncomfortable because she had pictures and everything and source of inspiration for her to pass. And that in itself just made me feel like, okay, I know I will pass on Wednesday. I'm hoping for, this is time number 6, and Grace Saki knows how we've been studying, and she says, Melanie, you're gonna pass this time. And I woke up I mean, I woke up, I went to Pearson in Visalia for this year, Central California people, very on a high. So I knew my stuff, and I'm expecting a pass. So long story short, she like didn't feel comfortable of like taking valuables and putting them down and then re-putting back up and everything. So she said next time if she doesn't pass the sub test, that she'd rather just take it at a different location. She has excellent internet as well as I do. It's just the whole taking down of the valuables is like no.
One of the other things I understand about the online proctoring is that you can only do one subtest at a time. If you do the proctoring, they won't even let you schedule two. So I read that somewhere in our notes as well. So keep that in mind. Thanks for that, Melanie. Yeah, to each their own. I get it. Okay. I wrote this down because I wanted to make sure I address this. So you guys in the Facebook group, first of all, thanks for being there. Thanks for, engaging other people, being helpful, answering questions, posing questions. It's really the easiest way for me to get in touch with you really quickly. So if you are not a part of our Facebook group, make sure that you join. It's under the same name, RICA Prep 101. You do have to answer the membership questions in order for me to let you in. I have had a lot of issues recently with scams. Anybody notice them? I'm starting to get a little irritated. I've had somebody who's lost some money from, a scam that they claim to have everything that they needed for this, and this. Please be wary of solicitors. All right. I think that you guys know me. We have a relationship. You understand that I'm here for your benefit and everything. Be wary when other people come in and do some things. And if you see something that's iffy, let me know, because I just think it's kind of, I'll say those words in my head. I won't say them here publicly because we're recording. If we weren't recording, I might say them. Okay. So then let's see. So we talked about where you can find your study materials. Another point that this is another question that I get quite a bit, and that is, what order should I take the subtests in? And what you have to remember is that reading develops in a certain sequence, and the domains are presented in the same sequence. Take domain 2, for example. It starts with phonological awareness, phonemic awareness. It moves into the alphabetic principle, concepts of print, and then we get into phonics, and it's just taking us up the ladder. You have to understand these earlier steps and skills before you can really understand how those things are applied or how they can impact those domains that are further down, like vocabulary development and comprehension. So my advice is always start with the first subtest, which is actually domain 2 and domain 3. If you are in the course, study the course in order. I lay it out in order that makes sense to the progression of reading development. So make sure that you do that. And that, my friends, is all I had prepared. Now we're just going to open it up and see what pains you. Nothing? I did it all? It's like crickets.
Just pains me.
Yeah,
You know what? So I've been scheduled, I don't know how many times, probably because it took me 12 times to get through CSET subtest 2, that I just have the overall panic. And the subtest 2 was just math and science. I passed one with the English, the first time, but I think it's just that fear of, I can't handle that, did not pass. So it's like, I haven't even attempted to take it yet because my anxiety is so off the charts because of everything that went around for years. You think CSAT's bad, wait till you get to RICA. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it took me 3 years to get through that. So
it is a head game. It is, and I wrote, there's a blog post on the website that I talk specifically about anxiety. And let me tell you, because, I have anxiety issues. I totally understand, like, to the nth degree. And one of the best ways to prepare to get your anxiety in check, especially for this particular test, is just to be prepared. The more prepared you are, the more confident you are. Now, it's not going to get rid of all of the anxiety, because we have to kind of, those visualizations and the breathing and all those other woo-woo things that we know they actually help us. But the number one thing that I can help you with and speak from experience is just be as prepared. And that's what I love about the subtest. Like, we can just focus on this one. I love that. I really think when scores start coming out in the next couple of months, there's going to be a dip. So here's what may happen. Okay. When anything new comes out, people are kind of still trying to get their bearings, and then they figure it out, and then it just starts taking off. And so I'm hoping that we are just going to be able to really see some growth and watch those subtest scores go up. And we take them in order. Subtest 1 is first, subtest 2, followed by subtest 3, which will be the domain 1 and the case study. It's very important that you put the case study at the end of all of your studies, because the case study is really being able to apply anything from any domain and any data point. And if you jump straight to subtest 3, just because it started maybe with domain 1 assessment, I wouldn't recommend it. Make sure that you do them in order, is my opinion, at least your first time out. All right. And then if you're retaking a subtest, I would stick with subtest 1 at least 2 or 3 times until it's passed. That's my personal feeling. That's yep. Let's just get it done. And then if, hopefully it only takes 1, and then you jump into subtest 2, but give yourself, a few times with that. I think that would be beneficial.
Now, see, that's perfect, because when I went into my 12th attempt for my CSET, I knew I had passed it, because I took that dang thing 11 times. And let me tell you what probably failed me every time. I went through, I even did the big, the Pearson all-day study group, like the 10-hour study group. I did that, and I did it twice, actually. One thing that was never covered in there, and I did not know, and it didn't register until I found the CSET group on Facebook, is paying attention to the wording. I would have passed it. The constructive responses set, they would give you your writing prompt, and then they would say, explain. And that's where I failed it every time, because I knew, especially if it was like a stats question, I would work it all out and I'd scan it in, and then I'd go on. I never went back to, for this question, the way I got here is because I did this and I did this. It was just that little tiny detail that ruined me. And I think it's so valid what you're saying, is we just have to feel comfortable with the material.
Yeah. Yeah. And God bless you for sticking through it, man, because that would, I've heard a lot of stories, and you'll get through it. I mean, everybody will, I promise you that. It's just, it's sometimes a lesson in perseverance. The RICA wording on the multiple choice is very similar, that there are some nuances in those test questions that if you are blasting through it, it is super easy to overlook some little finite detail, like which one does not apply. That one always throws me. So that's a really great reminder. Thank you, Chris, because we want to make sure that, we get this.
Yes, had I known that, I would have passed it years ago.
Yeah. Doesn't it just, but now you're going to pass the RICA, no problem, because you understand. See?
Yes. And that's the thing is, just retaining the information and not having the anxiety when I show up there and just go poof and I know nothing. That's what seems to happen. So I'm really struggling with the possibility of the proctoring. Will I be more comfortable at home? I mean, will they allow me to read the question out loud, or will they think I'm reading it to somebody else?
It says you can't read it out loud.
Yeah.
I read that because I was thinking the same thing. Like when I really want to do something, I mumble it.
Yeah.
But it said your lips can't move. It said, I mean, so if you decide to proctor, read the specifications super carefully, because that would be one that would, possibly kick me out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a reader. I'm an out loud reader.
I love the Pearson testing centers. They're quiet. They're nice.
Right.
So I think as much as I would love to take it at home, I will talk out loud, even if I'm mouthing and I don't want to just get the boot because of that.
Right. Right. I'll be interested to see how that works out when it's all said and done. We'll see. Thank you.
Sure.
I
All right.
was thinking about what Chris was saying too, and I think when I was taking my CSETs, one of my issues was that I took them in so many different centers and they were all so different. And I felt that in some of the Pearson centers, they really check you for everything like they're supposed to, but I felt like my anxiety level went up.
Yeah.
And there were other centers where I felt more at ease because, yes, they check you for everything, but it went over the top at Pearson centers. Like, oh, if I was wearing a sweater, roll up your sleeves, touch your hair, let me check your glasses, because what if they're Google glasses? Little things like that. So
That
I
is-
would say choose the center where you feel comfortable.
Mm-hmm. But I like the overall setting, but I had a ribbon or like a clip in my hair from one of my students. Her mom said, wear this for good luck. And I had to take it out and put it in the locker. And I'm like, is that going to mess up my whole mojo? Because you literally cannot have anything. And I'm like, it's a clip in my hair. Look at it. There's nothing there. So yeah, they do have that little quirk about them.
That is a great point, you guys. I had no idea. In your glasses, technology.
You get frisked.
If
That's
there's
why
a way
I
to
also
cheat, you can cheat.
Oh yeah. I go in leggings and, just because they pat you down and you have to pat yourself down and shake things and fluff your hair. And if you're in a ponytail, they will typically make you take it down. I'm like, I don't know what's happening. You think I'm going to shank somebody? Yeah, you get the whole thing. It's crazy.
It's worse than going to the airport.
Yes, completely.
My goodness.
I have this good luck charm, which I know will probably on Wednesday will be on my side. And it's a rosary. So, they wanted me to take off, I'm like, no, it's religious purposes. So that one, and I know it'll be on my side on Wednesday.
There you go. There you go. And you can tell them that, there are certain things that you're allowed because of faith-based things. So yeah, good reminder there. I think it's going to be okay, you guys. I really do. We'll see how, now correct me if I'm wrong. The reports that come out this Wednesday are for the old format, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the next reporting date, is that going to, I'm looking at this one to see if that's right. Will the next date, is the 18th then going to be new format, correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right. That's good to know. Yes, Lori, what's up, dear?
Sorry about that. Totally off topic, but I kind of was looking at the CTC and I can't print the test. You said you should be able to print it. It doesn't print. So I don't know if there's a trick. It says it has a print button, but my computer's not printing it. It's weird. I don't know if anyone else had that problem. I just thought I'd bring that up.
Anyone else have a printing issue?
I'll play with it again. Maybe because I have Zoom open at the same time. I don't know. Yeah, it won't let me print it. I guess I can write them all down.
I'll check it right now. I'll see if it'll let me print.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with it once I got my printer set up.
Yeah, the study guide, it's the same screen that you showed us. So I just thought, oh, I'll print it now while I'm listening to everybody. And yeah, it has a little printer icon, but it's not letting me print. Very
I just
strange.
did a practice print page. I printed the first page of the subtest.
Huh, okay. You know what? I'll play with it. My husband can help me.
You
I
know,
don't
one
know.
of the other things that you could check is sometimes depending on your web browser that you use to open it, if you're using, like I use Chrome, if you're using another one, just try a different one. Sometimes
Okay.
that interface kind of messes with something. You might be able to easily do it that way.
Okay.
If you open like Fire, what do they call it? Firefox or
Yeah.
Mozilla or something like that,
Okay.
that might be helpful.
I just wanted to see if anyone else had that problem.
No,
But
good question.
course-
That's why we're all
of
here.
course, it's me. Always happens to me. I'll figure it out. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Okay. All right, you guys. So be on the lookout then. Oh, last thing. So since I'm updating the course, I need to kind of put you on standby that over the weekend is the time where I'm going to be uploading and pulling things out. Okay, so I don't want you to freak out. I'll send you guys emails if you're a course member to kind of let you know, hey, expect something weird might happen. That I'm going to try to do it as quickly as possible. But if you know me and you know my tech skills, you know that whatever I allot is going to be 3 times as long as that. So, but that is coming. I will be updating it this weekend. So just be aware if something weird happens in the course that it's just me. I'm just adding things. I'll give you a heads up. Okay. All right. First of all, thank you, everybody. You are the best group ever. I adore doing this. I adore spending time, and I am always so honored that you put your faith and trust in me. I hope that you will consider joining us at our next workshop. Those are always fun. We are going to go back to the Saturday format, which is a big for all of us, because I really like the 2 hours twice a week. But I put a poll out on Facebook and it was overwhelming that people just couldn't fit it in to their day when school is going on and everything else. So I totally get it. So that the August 21 subtest is going to be 8 to noon. That is your time, Pacific time. I'm adjusting all of my time because I'm on, I don't even know, what am I, Mountain time, I guess? I'm an hour ahead. I'm learning.
Where are you?
I am in Boise, Idaho.
Oh, okay.
Yep, just moved. We've been here about 1 month and we are just loving it. We had a rainstorm. Did you hear me? Rain yesterday. Like we all went outside in our skivvies to go watch the rain. Bunch of weird Californians that haven't seen rain in so long. It was the funniest thing. So yeah, it's been really cool. We've just done lots of new stuff. I'm thrilled. So yeah. What is rain? I'm not kidding. It was hilarious. Like even the dog is like, what is this? So it's been great. Yeah. I'll talk to you again in January and we'll see if I'm singing the same tune. Because this California girl might be a little bit cold come January, but I think it's fine.